Are we ready? I know I am. So, whether or not you are, it's time for another episode of the Indie Tales Game Dev live stream. Hey, we're back for another, well, my name's Adam. You are the Pixel Pals. I've already said the name of the show, so without further ado, it's time to go. We're back for a Saturday edition of the stream. I kind of felt a little bit like getting into that jam mentality this weekend. After yesterday, we got started with our little fighter concept, and I just kind of felt like I'm on a bit of a roll. I've done a bit of work this morning around the house, and I just want to get into some more game dev. I'm not like, the context has not been cleared from yesterday. So I wanted to just jump straight into it. This, for those of you who do not know what I am making, is a little pixel art fighting game, similar to Towerfall, but with a bit of a spin on it. So today I thought we would do some kind of concept art for this game. I know kind of what I think it should look and feel like, but what we're going to do is really quickly prototype a version of the game that doesn't involve the trajectory mapping mechanics that I had previously. I just want to create like a really simple concept to validate the size of the characters on the screen so that I know how big the characters need to be in the concept art. Okay, so that's rule number one. I think like 1v1, this actually might be perfect. And then 2v2, we might have to pull it out a little bit, but I don't know if I can afford to have two different camera scales. So let's just start with something. So let's go to the asset scenes and call this trajectory map. Prototype. And then did I pull from the most recent? Yeah. So last night I was just working on trying to get this to be a little bit more, to play more nicely with the game. And I think I must have created some sort of error. P is this, I guess trajectory mapper is not, I haven't set it to anything yet. Okay, so terrain, no, where's our character? Character's there, trajectory mapper is there, go. So it technically, hello? What? What's the problem here? How did I break this from last night? Joust arcade, that's interesting. Yeah, similar kind of reminiscent, I would say. So object is not set to instance of object, reflected self-reflection, character, is it character in the trajectory mapper is not set? That should be, nope, okay, that's something we can fix. Cool, so we do have a system that does work, but I don't want to use this yet because I don't know if it'll be practical to use it. I realize once we've got collisions in there and special abilities that like jet you forward for a little bit before the parabolic arc kicks in, it might not be practical to use this. So instead, we're going to make a new scene. Scene, and we're just going to call this like prototype, physics prototype, basic physics prototype. Okay, so in this context we're just going to make literally a circle sprite, give it an empty parent, make the circle sprite, well, I'm just going to go 0.16 by 0.16. And then we're going to give this a rigid body 2D, and we're going to freeze rotation, and we're just going to give it a, this is called sprite. We're going to give it a collider, create empty collider, collier. Okay, box collider 2D, although maybe circle collider. It's probably better because it is a circle. So radius is 0.16. Right, 0.08. Okay. And then we're just going to make a 2D object that's just a square, I suppose, and then give it a polygon collider 2D. We're going to probably shrink this guy like that. Let's do another one, make it much taller than it is narrow. And then all these three squares, we're going to be on the collider layer. This game object is going to be on the player layer. Yes, change children. We're going to call it character. Run it, go. Okay, we got something. Physics. Okay, main camera is solid color. It's going to be orthographic. It's going to be, let's make it a fun color, like a blue, like a sky. This is going to be 0.9 so that we can see everything a lot closer. That's still pretty big, if I'm being super honest. That feels like a lot of space. Now, what I wanted to do in this game was on the camera, there is this sort of like idea that I have, sprite renderer, and it's a square, and make this black, and probably not a sprite renderer, but maybe a canvas. Yeah, let's remove that. Call this canvas, UI canvas, and then this is 3.2, 1.8. Cool. And then this is going on the UI layer. Create empty, and then this is black bar left. So this is an image, and the canvas is very big. Why is that the case? 0.01, 0.01, 0.01. Sometimes I like to do that just to scale it correctly. I don't know if there's a better way to do that, but such is life. Okay, so now black bar left is an image. It is black. It is going on the left-hand side, and its height is going to stretch. So it's going to be like this. We're going to say width is like 100 short, bottom is 0, top is 0, position 0. Okay, that makes me think that the UI canvas's size is not right, because this is trying to stretch to its parent. So then, if we go 111, why is 1.8 so wide? Width, I see. Well, I don't understand why the scales here aren't quite right. The camera isn't scaled, oddly. The UI canvas isn't scaled, weirdly. It's just this that's scaled, weirdly. That is very strange. If I was to just make this normal sized, go 100, or like to stretch to the parent and say 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. How big are we? Not very big. So now let's go back to 111. So strange. Yeah, 3.2, 1.8. That's what I'm... What the hell just happened? Hey, Robin, thank you so much for the sub. And thank you, Eyes, for the gifted subs. Okay, well, we're going to try this again. I don't know what happened, but... we're going to pivot this at 0. Actually, I think what I'd like to do is stretch this to be the whole size, 0, 0, and then add a mask. Let's go rect mask 2D. And this is maskable. So does the mask own the content that it masks? Or what? How does this work? There's the canvas. The canvas. I really want this to be 320 and 180 at 0.01. There we go. And then this is the mask. This is the black bars, which is 0.0000. Good. And then this is the mask. And as we pull in, I see. So the mask allows things to be seen in it, but I want to invert that. How do I do that? I want to mask in something, not mask out something. Actually, no, this doesn't even work that way. How does this work? I suppose it doesn't matter. I can just calculate what a square would be. So let's go back to this way, 0, and then it's 320 minus 180 divided by 2. And that will put a square in the middle. Okay, and we can't see that. Why is that out of the space? So that's -10. This is 0.01, but if I make this at like 10, hopefully we can see that. Good. Okay, so if that's the whole game area, what do you think? I think if that's the whole game area and like the canvases, like the colliders of the game are kind of like, you know, on the edges, maybe even making up this space. Like if the frame of the game, you know, included the colliders. If we go look at Towerfall, they've got like level and then gap. But what if the level, it was just a clear extension into the gap? Maybe that wouldn't look as good. I don't really know, but I think it looks okay. So if I just like stretch this out this way, what? There we go. Like if that was the game, and I guess we would always want to push in from the bottom some amount. I feel like just because of like people who stream and like, I don't know, other things, you kind of want a safe area, top and bottom. So maybe what I would do is push this out to the side this way, push this out to the side that way, and you're playing inside of that space. That's the game area, and the UI and everything's out here. And at this scale, I think maybe the character could almost be too big. Like if I put a level here, let's just say I wanted to do like some sort of, you know, Smash Brothers-y style thing. That's kind of getting, it's pretty cramped, you know. You couldn't do like ring outs with this thing at this scale. This character would need to be smaller. Now, of course, we could solve this by saying 1.8. Now everything's much smaller. But I think on like a phone, if this was the phone, I mean, you'd have to scale up all the UI to 640 by 360. Gives us this. And then this ends up being a width of 140, maybe. I think the characters are too small here for that. So we kind of, I feel like it's better to keep it tiny. At that point though, the radius of this circle is, we're looking, staring down the barrel here at 16 pixels tall, which is, you know, not very tall. That's, you know, a character equals this. That's a character in the game. I'm making a local fighting game. And even less if you make it a circle. You know, that's your character. And honestly, I would prefer to double the size of the character and all the tiles and everything else. I think or like 1.5x. So like, you know, you could have something that was 640 by 360. Okay. And then the character being, yeah, so you go like this, you go 1.8, you go canvas is 640 by 360. And then you go, these two become 140. And then this guy ends up being 0.24. Okay, then you could put this here, that there, maybe blow them up a little bit. And everything else, obviously. In fact, why not just scale the whole thing up? Oh, because that doesn't work that way. But I could do this. So that's 640 by 360. Even that, I feel like you'd have to be kind of careful about, you know, how much space you wanted. If you wanted there to be clear, like ring outs, Smash Brothers style, you kind of couldn't really. I mean, how would you do that in this context? You need the level to be like that, which is not too bad. Actually, the challenge would be you'd really want to be able to zoom out. When, like Smash Brothers style, when someone gets knocked really far away, you want the camera to pull out. That's the only thing that I think would be really difficult with this context. I like the locked in thing. Keeping the camera the same and not scrolling is very advantageous. It saves me a lot of effort. So the idea here would be something like this, I think. If you were to do the level looking like this, I think that's kind of reasonable. The only thing would be you would be able to scroll the camera, but maybe not zoom it. And then you would need to be playing certainly 2v2. I mean, 1v1, not 2v2. So as soon as you got 4 people, you got to be able to zoom out. You couldn't do 4 like 2-player like this unless you were doing like, we know Smash Brothers works. You know, like this, they'll give you like a stage where it's, you know, sort of, I mean, not even that. It's like, they'll do like a battlefield stage that looks kind of like this. I think I'm just concerned that the characters aren't that interesting to look at that scale. And there's a lot of pixels here. So if we were to zoom in, this would be 12 pixels. If we were to halve the camera size. Well, let's do a mock-up, right? Let's just do it. So if I make this 640 by 360, I mean, that's exactly what we're projecting. So let's mock up this. And then we'll do a mock-up of another one after that. So, hey Squiggy, working on fighting games today. I don't even have like a clear idea about what these characters look like, but that's what we're here for, I suppose. Okay, cool. I mean, I had this concept of, let's take this all the way down. Let's make a blue character. I'm thinking, in my brain, it's very much like Castle Crashers in a way. There's like this kind of, you know, like this would be like a knight character. Maybe he would have like a... Too short to be Castle Crashers. Well, I mean, they're certainly supposed to be very short. They're supposed to be just basically circles. I was thinking of Viking later. Yeah, for sure. And then like he would have his arm like that, like another arm like that. And I would give him like a... No, it's going to be like essentially no animation. It's all just procedural. Hey, shortwave. I guess you would want to be able to recolor them, or yeah, I mean, you couldn't. Well, I suppose you could do whatever you wanted. My fear would be that the sword would need to be shorter. To just be more like an indicator, like that size. I mean, I hope so. That would be the goal. Yeah. Not just doing it for myself. Let's try some tile related stuff. Maybe I'll just, since I'm mocking it in, I'll just try to use some weird colors. I was thinking even more like geometric than this, but we'll see. Like, what? Ah. Oh, thank you. But I think there needs to be more. Like, it needs something. Something more. We'll figure it out. Some underground Doritos Don't worry about that. Don't worry about it. Yeah, well, the idea is because there's circles under the hood, if I make them footless, then it won't be a problem. So this size, I mean, it's pretty detailed. If I go duplicate this and then go canvas size, sprite size, and go 320 by 180. Now we've got this tiny space. Wait, what? How did that happen? How did I get to... Oh, because I duplicated the view instead of duplicated the work? That's interesting. Okay. File new. Redo. File new. 320 by 180. That's interesting. Save this. Shrink this down by to 320 by 180. Take all of these, paste them. Nope. Copy, paste. Nope. Copy, paste. Undo, delete. Now I have two different ones. Okay. This is certainly cuter. Less definition. But maybe more opportunity. God, the pixels are so big. I think we'd have to just do this. Honestly, I kind of like it. Oh, that's kind of cool. It's got like more of an expression on its face. I almost feel like this would need to be in more. It's tough. It's really, when I say tough, I mean difficult. It's difficult. Because the idea was going to be something like this, you know, do that. In this space here, I was going to have like a big frame, and I was going to have like you know, the characters be represented as like much bigger. With like their actual faces or whatever. And then, hey, Ronnie. Or whatever. And then the idea was going to be... what's going on here? Hello? This color? It's not... Oh, okay. Oh, I need to take these colors. Indexed. Maybe even like larger. And then I would show things like UI. So I would show like stamina, if you got it. And then like, I don't know, health or whatever, if there's such a thing in that mode. And then this would be your area that you're expected to like do inputs within. So you're dragging around in this space. Or it would be stats if you weren't on a phone. The portraits would be better than this. Edit, flip horizontal. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think we're struggling a little bit for screen real estate on this one. But I wouldn't want to change it up too much. Maybe I would just go like that. Oh, lost a bit. And then this area would be, you know, some sort of like Arrowbound tile set. I think if the portraits are really good, we could get away with this. And I might want them to be, you know, maybe you would have them be more interesting than this. You would have them be like a bust, you know, maybe something like, here's the head, here's the chest, all the way to there, doing some expression. Maybe even poking out a little bit. That's kind of cool. Bobble Battle. Never heard of it. Oh, that's cool. That looks a lot like what I'm making. What the heck? Yeah. It could be cooler. It's okay. Our game's gonna be better. This is almost the size of, I wonder if we take Harriet's portrait. Hello, everything? Yeah, not quite. This is way too big. Yeah, that's too big. Okay. They get tens of millions of hits. The game doesn't look that good. It looks very slow. I've given up trying to satisfy the algorithm at this point. I think this game will do well with the algorithm if I was to post about it. But like, I'm not going to try to explain why something does well and why something does not. It's not something that I care about. I think this is going to be in that more like, I think it should feel kind of like Friday Night Funkin'. More that like fun, maybe itch.io is where it could go. Mandatory like Celeste character with long hair. Usually they go smaller pupils for angrier, I think. Anyway, so she would be like, you know, I think I would want to give them all, in my brain, they've all got headgear on, but maybe that's not the way to do it. She could have like a tiara thing. Because I don't think I'm going to be able to show eyes at this level. So if we don't go for eyes, then we don't have to show like expression. But we can do things like having the hair physics, you know, like they do in Celeste. You still want that. She could be the barbarian, so she could have the big axe. Two hands. Like He-Man or Conan, you know? No, it might need to be smaller than this. Red Sonja? I don't know Conan very well, so you'll have to forgive me. I just know Arnie. This will be both, I think. Maybe. I haven't really decided what platform would be best for it. I mean, console first is, I think, my trajectory here. Maybe she would have like... I don't know how I would do this. Like, is this the head and the neck, or is this just like a circle? Probably just a circle. So this is like 1v1 local. At the moment. If you could do maybe over the portraits, so you have like, oh my gosh. I'm not sure yet. I mean, the portraits would do like little if they got hit, or like if they like hit them. You know, just little like single pose reactions. RuneScape. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff or something like that. If you know Homestuck. That's better. Just draw his face over it, doesn't matter. I can't help it. I do. We were watching Lord of the Rings yesterday, and my wife's like, "Are you okay?" And I was just like mirroring what like Smeagol was doing in the moment. Like I'm like, yeah, my brain's just copying what's on the screen. It's not on purpose. It's just a thing I do. Is that autism? Yes. Yeah. Okay. This is called a sprite. Huh. I didn't forget. I just didn't put it in yet. Kind of reminds me of Juggernaut. I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. I don't have whatever that's called, no, unfortunately. The color numbers thing. No, I don't have that one. Hey, Esberens. I don't get to catch streams often due to time difference, but I wanted to point you towards Pirate Software's upcoming indie game showcase if Insignia is far enough along. He's got a sign-up form on his website, show.games. That is an incredible URL. That's cool. I'll think about it. I haven't caught up with Thor in a long time. Okay. Well, this is... I think I like this size a lot. Yeah, I mean, Insignia is not really, I don't know, it's kind of not at a point yet where I would want it in many showcases. I might save that for when it's like a bit closer to release. But I do appreciate the thought. All right, do we give these guys outlines? I think we do for this kind of game. Or not. I don't know. Maybe we do. We'd have to do something quite drastic, I think, with the background otherwise. What I could do is take the outline and then like do something like this with it. Well, this is 320 by 180. This is super small. I think the size for these characters, while I really like it, it's going to be tough to have the game feel like there's a lot of space for level design. That would be my concern. Let's do another layout. And this time, let's stretch this further out. Like if this is on TV, for example, we might be able to get away with much smaller everything. Dong. Da, 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 da. Well, that's getting kind of cool. I still think it's not big enough. I still think the game is too, like, there's not enough screen real estate dedicated to the gameplay. I could just feel that it's going to get too cramped. Even if we push this stuff out. Well, Smash Brothers zooms out a lot. And again, not to say that we couldn't zoom out. Well, this is the concern. I was thinking about it. Like this was double the size of the sprites. And then this is smaller sprites, smaller sprite resolution. So if we look at how it's not going to be great. Look, if I go 640 by 360, we almost want one in between 480 by 270, but I'm a little concerned about that one. So how many layers we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 6. So now, like, we've got so much space. You'd almost want to take everything that's not... Yeah, this would be multiplayer. Maybe not online multiplayer, although, I mean, we'll see. So it's everything but like these two bits. Like, see, that's probably too small. Unless, I mean, like, let's now double the size of the game. I think you're getting closer at that size, but now, like, now I want to make the characters bigger by about that much. So now let's compare this to this. That's basically the same. So what changed? What changed between here and here? Same character size. What did I do differently? I made the level area smaller. And I pulled the black bars away. And then in this version, the characters are just too big. My concern, I really think we've got to go for one more. It's like right in the middle would be the ideal. Yes. Which 720p is where we lose Switch handheld at that point, which would be actually a really good Switch 1 handheld for this would be sick because you have two Joy-Cons. It's like perfect. So what if I design it for 720p? Well, 1280 by 720 divided by 2 is 640 by 360 at that point. You have to. So we're kind of stuck at this scale. It's such a shame because like all the background art and everything, the feel of it is perfect. Like the feel at this scale is kind of what I was going for. Maybe if I zoomed it up though, it wouldn't feel so good. Maybe that's too granular anyway. But I know that Towerfall is like that. Is it not? How big is this image? 480 by 270. What the heck? Surely that's not right. Screen shit. That sucks. Let's assume 1 pixel is this many. So let's divide it by 4. Is it really 480 by 270? $320 by $240. That's actually kind of interesting. Let's look at that. $480 by 270, 240 pixels tall. What is that multiplying to? It multiplies into 1080, right? 1, 2, 3. It does not. What the heck? It's a third of 720p. So what do? You just give it a bit of extra border in 1080? You just go 4 plus a little bit. 4.5. One, two, three, 4. Yeah, well, 240 times 4 gives you 960. Yeah. Hey, Nakonacito. Well, the beauty of this is that we actually, like, we don't need So I did 180 pixels tall. So what if I did 320 by 240? As the game space. That's pretty good. What the heck? Non-standard resolutions. Let's go. And then you can, now you could say, okay, well, the characters could be out like this far. That's more reasonable. Levels like this. That's perfect. No, we started this like yesterday. The only question is, well, 4 scale factor is what we're looking at here. So if I make the sprite size 400, it's 1280 by 960. So then to get down to 720, you have to crop, don't you? Well, hang on a second. Why don't I just add more width? $480 by 240? Hang on a second. 320 by 240. That's what this is. That's the same as Tower 4. And then if I have 1920 by 1080, 1920 by 1080, let's stroke this one. So it's here. 1, 2, 3, 4. You get 4. And then 1280 by 720. You should get like 3 exactly. 1, 2, 3. And the only difference is how much you get out the side, which honestly would not be great if we were trying to do something like mobile 720p, but since it's the Switch, we don't need the touch areas. It's just that the characters would be peeking in quite a lot at that point. If we make the gameplay square, then you get perfect, but what was I looking at here that was too small? This is 180 pixels tall. This feels like we could shrink it vertically as long as we don't lose anything on the height. But then actually that's worse. We're just looking at like the size of the gameplay and how big the sprites feel like they want to be inside of the gameplay and basing it on that. So it's less about exact pixel perfection and more about what feels good in the space. Because we can scale it a little bit. You know, we could have the game area with like a little bit extra and then put the UI around that, or we could shrink it in a little bit. But what I don't want is for the characters to look too small on screen at pixel perfect sizes, or to draw the characters too big to make up for it. I feel like there's a little bit of play here. 320 by 180 is like these characters at this scale. I couldn't make them any smaller because the weapons don't look good if I go smaller than this. And the characters I don't think will look good either. We could go smaller, but I just don't. I think that this sprite size is about as small as I want. So then it's, yeah, how much more would you want? I guess we could try it a few different ways. I mean, let's see what we can do. Because this is 640 by 360. And you can see the difference in how the character looks. Like I've drawn him at 2 scales here. There's a very different kind of feeling at the different sprite scales. We could squiggy. It's just like how big is 1 pixel in that space. So in this, we've got 640 by 360. And the character here, like this guy, his circle is 30 pixels. So 24 pixel tiles is probably fine for this. Maybe this is okay. Like it's basically the same. It's basically the correct size in terms of like how big I would want the character to be on the screen. What I'm most concerned about is how much responsibility that gives us in terms of animation. Is it for a game jam? Nope, just a side project for a little bit. Like actually, like all of this stuff is double sized now. It's oversized. So like if I was to bring the characters back in at their original size, it ends up being like this, which is maybe like a little not so big. And then if I was to bring this in to be more comfortable, I just think at this scale, you kind of lose some of that chunky pixel feel. To have the characters be this small. Like in Insignia, it's okay. But even like this background is wrong. Like the background is supposed to be 480 by 270. Like I drew the background at this scale. So actually it's more like this plus that is what you're really looking at. So like a game that looks like this with the characters looking like this guy, I feel like it's kind of a different game almost. This is the kind of game where I really want to fight with the pixel art. I really want to have to min-max the size of the pixels. Like squeeze as much as I can in one frame. That would be my goal. And I know that sounds weird. But I want to be forced to be stylistic here. It's 4 player. So like what I'm really saying is, do I shrink, like how far can we shrink these characters without losing their identities? I think that will breed better choices. Maybe that's fine. There is a je ne sais quoi. What does that mean? I don't know. And then like, if we can fit the eyes in there somehow. Maybe we do like, I don't think we're going to get there, but that's okay. Yeah, I can already tell I'm going to make better choices this way. But I'm also concerned about, like, is the game going to be cool at this scale? Can I make the characters cool? Because maybe not. Maybe it can't be cool at this scale. Yeah, it's the gameplay is completely fling based. My game Arrowbound, it's that. So you are dragging and releasing to control the characters. And then it's also, the game modes are different. So it's not all just ring outs. There'll be like a couple of different versions. Well, all the animation at this resolution would be like procedural, is what I would do. Like I would have the hair be like a little particle system, the feather, all that kind of stuff. Well, at this scale, I mean, it kind of still works. It's almost better. Well, we could do, it depends on, this would depend entirely on what's the word? Entirely on whether I want this area to be where you, on a phone, where you touch to drag, to fling the characters around. Like if this is the control area for player 1 and player 2, then I keep it like this. Of course, I do think there's an option here where we go, so that's no good. That's no good. That kind of works. And then the alternative here, what you're describing, which I don't like, it's possible, is something like this. Or even like, mobile equals flop. It's not like supposed to be exclusively on mobile, just so you know. It's just a game that I want to make for funsies that could be played on mobile or console. Okay? It's okay if it's not exclusive to console or PC. It's just a cool idea for a game that I have. I don't want to think about like, oh, you shouldn't make a game because I don't like the platform that I would want to make it for. At least that's not how I want to do it. Now the question is here, could we do 2 of them? I think at that point you lose kind of way too much of the height to do it exactly Smash Brothers style. You'd have to really scale down the characters. I just don't think this... I think this is going to be really hard to make this work. And there's no height off the top. So the kill zone is like really, really high. You can't do any ledge stuff if you have the characters. You'd have to take them away. I agree. I think smaller is better. For me, I think the game, if I can make a game where the elements are, if the constraints are as high as possible, that's better. So stationary camera is better than a camera that zooms around, because I don't want to spend more than about a month on this project. We could shift it a little bit, but I just don't want to have like I don't want to support too many different things. It makes it just turns it into a different kettle of fish, you know? I'd love to spend like 1 month on it. That would be ideal. Less in terms of like overall time. It is imagine Angry Birds meets Smash Brothers. Meets Towerfall. Smash Birds. No, the birds are the characters. You fight as the birds. So you're flinging the characters around on the screen. And that's how you attack and do everything else. On gamepad, it'll be analog stick, pull back and release. Well, it will have to be, I think. Dodging will have to be a thing that you can do. Otherwise, you're just attacking each other constantly. Unless it's really hard to hit each other, but I'm trying not. I don't really want to do that. I think it should be like reasonably easy after a little bit of learning to hit other characters. And then it should be very obvious for a decent player that you can bait somebody else into trying to hit you. And then, so the way that I've got it set up is, so you've got stamina. The stamina regenerates reasonably quickly. It's like a second, 2 seconds. And with your stamina at max velocity, you have about 2 swings worth of attacks. You can use less to use less stamina. So if someone, if you attack, if this guy uses max force this way and this guy just jumps up a little bit, he'll have enough stamina left to then attack downwards in midair. So it's going to be a little bit like, those like samurai movies where it's like a bit of a Mexican standoff for a little bit, and then there's like a and then it slows down and then it speeds up again. That's kind of what I would hope for it. That's the vision. If you fall off, you die. Devil's Dive. Let's have a look. I'm not sure I follow. Oh, has it got stamina, does it? You can do a little bit of air dodging. Wrong game? Okay, different game. I think we're really close. In terms of like getting something that looks like it could work. Just like the core mock-up. It's still a little bit away, but not that far. Different abilities. So when you pick a character, it's like I'll explain. So there'll be different weapons, and the weapons have different trajectories. So like a katana has like a instant like dash, and then it's got like a parabolic, you fall after that. So you get this first little bit really fast. You sort of teleport, you go like blink, and then it continues. And if anyone's in that space, they take like maximum velocity damage or whatever. Then there's like the, like an archer maybe, and he shoots an arrow ahead of him and then follows after it, like it's on a tether. That could be an idea. So you're not where your hitbox is, which is a different feel. The axe character would spin, like rotating constantly. And so if you get caught up in the thing, you don't get knocked away immediately. You get knocked away when the character hits the ground. So it's like, it will build momentum until you land, and then it's... So it's kind of like a grappler in this game as opposed to just like a normal whatever. So just little things like that have, it's like one ability. And it's not even an ability, it's just like the characters work subtly differently. Yeah, you could change characters. You could play the same character two people. And yeah, you'd give like a teal instead of a blue on the knight or something like that, like they do in Smash Brothers. That's how I would solve it. So I mean, this is still very small. We'd have to definitely pull this away. Every time I look at it, I realize it's not right. But I kind of like this idea of like the HUD coming off the screen. It's kind of cool. I really like the idea of it being like cramped in its design in a way that forces it to be very just like, yeah, more expressive shapes. I think we need to go smaller than what we've got right now still for the characters, if that's the case though. It needs to be possible for two characters on the same platform to have some sort of interaction. Not much, but just a little bit more than they've got. Maybe you would put them in the middle. I need separation. Could we even go smaller than this? Gosh, we're hitting the limits here. But not, I mean, like, it still kind of holds up. That's full screen. I think that's okay. I think that's all right at full screen. The characters, all the UI and HUD is too big. But I think like gameplay, I think there's enough space here for 2-on-2 or like multiplayer, 4-player. If one jump is like that or up like about this far, I think that's plenty of space. Maybe not plenty of space if you had 4 characters. in this area. Might have to make this a bit wider. But I think it being cramped is a good thing. Again, I think it will be more frenetic at that scale. And this is 320 by 180. I could probably shrink these down just like a little bit. That's not very nice. Okay, can we shrink down one more pixel? I don't know how much they'll lean in. I'm not sure about that yet. I think it's doable. I think it's doable at this scale. If we look at the Towerfall characters, can I get a one-to-one screenshot of Towerfall? They never take good ones. That's 1920 by 1080, so copy that. Okay. So the Towerfall characters are, how many pixels we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Sprite size 25%. Okay, so that's Towerfall. This is the concept we've got. We'd have to halve. Is this 640 by 360? It's 480 by 270. Wow. Okay. Well, in any case, this is a character from Towerfall. So let's take that and then bring him over here. Ah, it's similar. Similar in terms of on-screen size, but then this is it's still bigger. How did they get away with 480 by 270? They just dealt with it. I guess because it's 320 by whatever. They just change how much border you get. Actually, hang on a second. 1, 2, 3, 4. But then that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's actually not pixel perfect. They're sort of doing a bit of funkiness. Well, I think being like really, really careful with how many pixels I use here. And then like we could even just remove like this kind of thing here. You might need some kind of like ground point for the character. Like if we do a version where the terrain, let's delete that and then delete you. Let's say the level in this case is actually more like this is the level. Then I think we're totally fine. That is the question. So I don't know yet. I have 3 different modes that I've got in mind, and one of them is ring outs off the top. One of them is you bounce off the walls, and it's 3 bounces to knock you out. So if you bounce off 3 surfaces, you die in one like hit stun. You know in Smash Brothers how like if you knock someone against a like in this area, they might go dush, dush, dush. That would be death. So in that context, like we could probably be more conservative with the amount of screen real estate. And if we do walls like this, I mean, it also just lets us delete this layer altogether. Fill in this, and then just push this even further out. Now, can we shrink this stuff any further? I think at this point you've got something that's all right. Especially if you make these platforms like a little thinner. That is cool. A scrolling level. We are pushing the limits of what I would want to do with this game, though, at that point. But it is a good idea. Just to keep it dynamic. You could go even thinner. I see it. I could see the lava level. Now, is it too limited? I don't think we need many levels. Even like 5 would be tons, I think. Yeah, I've thought about a version where you're trying to knock people into like snooker pockets, like it's pool. Yeah, you would have like one that's like, you know, one where there's all blocked in, one where it's like Final Destination in Smash Brothers, one where it's 3 sides and an above where you get ring out. What if the pockets had saw blades? Now you're talking. And then if this was 2-player, you would just go like this, I think. On like console. Like 1v1, this is plenty of space, I think. Hey, Cyber. Yeah, so that's nothing. Can't do that at all. No, thank you. This is starting to get realistic at this point. You wouldn't want the characters any smaller, I don't think. Well, at this scale, I feel like you probably could have the characters a little smaller. You could probably go 1 more pixel with this. Maybe extend the head. And then just, if they're just heads, not even any little circle on the bottom. Now she's like here. Maybe you give them tiny bodies. It's just like a cloak or whatever. I mean, that's what Apollo is, right? Let's just take this frame here. What is the difference? Oh, it's totally fine. What the hell? Oh, dudes, we just do that. Even shorter, I think, though. That's perfect. Well, I'm kind of sold at this point. I think I'm in. Knowing that I can just get the Arrowbound size of everything. I've already got all the tile sets and stuff, so like, and that was in world. I don't know why I didn't think about that. So like literally look at this. Tiles. Now these ones are really small, but I did have fun making them. I had a level editor plan for Apollo, and it just, for Arrowbound, and it just didn't, it was really hard to do. Like it was in there, it's in the game, but it's not, it wasn't straightforward. I think we can make this work. I think we can do this. New game. Yep. All right. So, hey, Seraphim Order. I think from here, we've agreed on the sizes of everything. We know the character size in full is 20, we got 13 by 20 pixels. So as a circle, it would be, or a square, like, yeah, 16 by 16 at maximum, which is what we've got right now. It's actually where we started. So I think this is 24, 0.16, 0.16 with the game at 320 by 180. If I just undo it. That's where we started. So in truth, it'll be a little smaller than this in terms of the sprite. And then these black bars will be probably a lot less wide, more like that, I guess. How far do we have them? .48, so 50 pixels, which is about what I've got here. And then we take the level and push it all the way out. Okay. So that's what a game would look like. Cool. It's good. It means I can work with a lot of the Arrowbound assets. And then I actually had a version of this that had input already. At character, with this as the rigid body, put this up here. Did I need anything here? No. Okay, so this will actually just work, I think. Okay, minus, I don't want that to happen. You're not going very far. Power factor 6. There you go. But it needs to be bouncy. Okay. Cool. No, that's not enough power. 6. And let's go friction of 1. I guess we need like linear drag in this game, which is something that I didn't have in Arrowbound. Because you don't want to like knock yourself off the edge of the map. Like that, yeah. Cool. Let's get this gizmo out of the way. What the hell is it even doing? Well, it's not even coyote time. You could just double jump. You could just jump in the air again if you want. Ooh, maybe then if we bring it down, the max power, you have to double jump. Such a difference between 5 and 6 though. I think it needs to be like a little bit. 5.7. Make the drag distance smaller. Okay, let's make it 6 then. I feel like actually it's not listening to me. What is happening here? Max drag distance. No, that's not right. Oh, hang on a second. So you take it, you subtract there. If it's greater, you normalize it, and then you take the factor. But then this needs to be like that. That's better. Okay. So now we can make this 5 again. See what happens. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And then like 4.6. Okay, less 4. Yeah, it needs to be that at one full jump gets you exactly up. So like, let's go 4.3. Yep, that's good. Probably even a little strong. Yep, let's go bring this down to 4. Linear drag down to 1.7. Yep. Maybe a little stronger. Almost perfect. And then if we are dragging, bullet time. Still a little. I mean, this is the material ocean theme. There you go. I don't like the way that it totally kills your velocity like that, though. Oh, I guess it's like... I can't just normalize it and then multiply it by 0.01. I think I need to like... There you go. Nice. So it's like... So you have like bullet time midair. So that kind of keeps it turn-based because you can then jump. If someone's trying to attack you, you can jump and then attack them back. But you have to commit once you're in the air. I think this is going to be sick. Maybe we don't even have energy. Maybe we just let you go. So cool. Fish Hero. No, I've never heard of it. Oh, this has already got the Ace Bright importer. I don't know that I want that. Clamp, point, no filter. If I look at this, why do I have two of these? They're both centered because I exported. Delete that. I wanted the pivot on the left. I kind of prefer it this way, I suppose. Pivot alignment left, sprite padding. If I go sprite editor, oh, it is left. Okay, well, why then, if I just bring this in, why does it pivot at the center? Nani? Your handle setting is set to center? Pivot. Oh, I see. Got it. Cool. Thank you. Da-da-da. Okay. And then on release, what is this? We're looking for the vector to call dragged vector. What is drag vector? So at this point, drag vector equals current pos minus drag start pos. If we're dragging, that's fine. That way drag vector can be there. And then we want this to be that, but then I want this to be negative that. And actually it's not drag vector. It's just and then the scale here is for the sword, is it the X scale? Yeah, X scale is drag vector. Okay, now we need to start making all of these gray, and also you and you. Yeah. That's cool. Nice. We'll see. I just want to get something working first, you know? Really cool. I wonder if like it should be that when you hit the ground once, that's your attack finished. I know, we're going to need... Good. Collisions are working. Yep, that's exactly what I want, minus that. And then this goes there. Yeah, we'll do like interpolation. Oh, that's perfect. Yep. That's not what I want. It's really good. I'm very happy with this so far. It will need like a slash particle or something. And I feel quite comfortable controlling it too. It doesn't feel, it feels like what I would expect it to feel like having played Arrowbound. I could probably, yeah, I feel pretty comfortable that I could attack anything and hit anything. Yeah, it'll be good with an analog stick. That should be the next thing we work on. I love that when you fling upwards, by the time he comes downwards, the sword looks like it's where his hand should be. I love that. It always kind of feels like it's supposed to be, like it is where it's supposed to be. And then this should be dragging weapon dot position doesn't change. Interesting. Doesn't seem to need the offset. It kind of was fine. Maybe 5 pixels is too many. 2 pixels? A pixel's pretty big in this game. It's just like this position right here should be like there. Should be like the default point. Yes, that's me doing like a fake bullet time. So that's you're midway through dragging. It slows you down to let you reorient yourself. It just feels like it felt like it had to have something like that because otherwise you have to put inputs in too frenetically mid-air. So to have it just slow you down a little bit, I think is a smart move. Also, it kind of leaves you vulnerable. Like while you're setting up your next shot, someone else can like tag you in the air. Whereas if you're moving too much, it'll be harder for everybody to fight each other. So it adds a little bit of a turn-based quality to it. I think it makes sense now, but yeah. Imagine that's the face. Face opposite dragging. Oh, where'd the face go? He's not doing it. Might have to recompile it. Hello. No. Oh, shit. So I think it should be sprite renderer. I love when Unity is working quickly. I love that. It feels so good to not have to worry about that. Oh, okay. I guess I should draw something. There we go. I love it. Now, why does he kind of look like he's not? I guess he looks right. And then 320 by 180 is what we actually want. Where's my tiny, tiny resolution? I don't have it. Now we're pixel art. Cool. Now, I think when we looked at these characters, that's not the whole everything. It's actually more like more like that. So sword should be a bit smaller, I think. And actually that changes so much. Like the gravity scale, I think, is probably too fast now by quite a lot. So let's change that. Physics 2D, physics. Time, isn't it? No, it's physics. Wait, I do want to change time though. That's correct. Physics 2D, general settings, gravity, 0.981. Let's... How do we want to do this? Just halve it? Probably not half. But definitely less. Just like 6. Yeah, and then knock down the power factor to like 3. Back to 4. 3.5. Yeah, that's better. Oh, but the power is too high, so it should be 3, but the drag, the linear drag should be 2. Try that. No, linear drag less. 1.5. Mm. 1.2. Still too fast. 2.61. And then still want drag. More power. Yeah. It's a tough one. You should be able to make that jump. Oof. The negative bounce, so you throw the sword down so that you can bounce and then get the higher jump height. Okay. I like the sword at this size, but I'm thinking maybe... In fact, maybe even more. I think the swords being really comically big is actually kind of cool. That's right. That's right, Elzak. Why is the sword not updating? But I saved it. Oh, it got saved in a different spot. Whoops. Yeah, cool. The pivot should be up. What do you mean by that? Like, so that most of the sword is below where it's rotating from? Oh, you want the sword's anchor point to be just higher. Wow. I mean, he doesn't have feet yet. Actually, I'm going to keep it at 0.5. They kind of don't have, like, they don't have feet, really. I think what I will do, though, is have it so that its anchor position is, like, further out this way. It should be, like, out there. Like, if it was there, I think that's fine. I don't want it to be here. I want it to be there. I want it to be there. That's where I want it. Okay, so when we are... What's the problem here? When I swing like that, I actually want it to like go ahead and then sort of lerp back. So I think I'll just leave it, for now, I'll leave it where it is because it'll be different for different weapons. And there's a lot of complication here, I think, that could make this really not necessary. Like the things that we do now, aesthetically, we're going to get overwritten very soon. So I think we leave it like this. Okay. I'm going to turn off the air 1 sec. Sorry. Cool. All right. Gosh, we're so close to a game. Like, I just need to import the proper controller input settings. Do we even need the new Unity input? Yeah, I think I will use it so that you can assign controllers and stuff, right? Create and assign a default project-wide action asset. Yes. And then do you use the player inputs to determine, I forget how I do this. I'll figure it out. Well, for now, let's make this a prefab. Swordbound, kind of. I actually don't like the bouncing. It's actually really nice. It bounces like almost always twice, maybe 3 times. Ah, yeah. But I don't have it. I don't have it flipping on the x-axis. Maybe I should do that. Well, the problem here is that doing this here, I think means that, you know, if we want the sword slashing forward, well, it's not a bad, I don't know. Yeah, like that's no good. Let's go back to where it was. That's so annoying, dude. What is wrong with me? Wait, why do I have 2 of these? Do I play Roblox? No. Yeah, that's fine. I don't want to know. I almost feel like we don't need a power bar, but we probably do need a stamina bar if we are going to have stamina. But maybe we don't need stamina. Wow, this is actually really good. Got the UI in there. Hello. I am. That's what I want. If we haven't bounced, oh, if we have bounced or dragging, that's what I want. There we go. Cool. And I guess I would want its angle to rotate back to normal once we're not bouncing anymore. So like -135. Cool. All right. I'm going to leave it here, pals. I got to go spend the rest of my day doing fun things. This was what I was expecting to get to yesterday. This is good. And it doesn't use the trajectory mapping stuff at all. It's just like physics. So thank you so much for watching. Let's find someone to raid. It's 2:51 p.m. for me. Let's raid Jitspo. Thank you, everyone. Catch you for this project next Friday. Monday, we're going to go work on Insignia again. So you can wishlist Insignia if you're interested. You can check out the game there. Insignia looks like this. If you don't know what I work on every day, which would be crazy for those of you who don't. But this is my main game, this big action adventure, side-scrolling pixel art game. So anyway, that's it. That's the stream. As always, I've been Adam. You've been the Pixel Pals. This has been the Indie Tales Game Dev live stream. Until next time.